Let's take a basic principle like the principle of cover. Spouses are supposed to cover each other's weaknesses. It's a very simple principle, but it's powerful. Many spouses, many times, expose the weaknesses of their spouses in front of other people. So they'll be like, oh, this guy, you don't know him in the house. He's like this, he's like that, he's like this, he's like that. And in the presence of other people, that spouse may be laughing and joking, but when they come home, some of the biggest arguments in marriages are because of those kind of mistakes, where a spouse will reveal a weakness of their spouse. Maybe they'll say their spouse is, I don't know, non-communicative, or their spouse is dirty, or their spouse is indisciplined, exposing the weaknesses of their spouse because maybe that spouse's friends did not know this about them because they never lived with them. And so the spouse has a proximity to the other spouse the other people don't have, and so they think it's funny to be exposing that spouse's weakness, and it can create many problems. But the scripture tells you that love covers a multitude of sins. So that principle alone, if you understood that principle, you would have made that mistake, and you would have never gone out to your friends and to the public and exposed the weaknesses of your spouse, because love doesn't expose, love covers. Love covers the sins. Love covers the mistakes. It's not that your spouse is perfect, but we'll deal with their imperfections at home between me and them. I don't expose my spouse's weaknesses to other people. It's one of the biggest mistakes that people make. They come and they're making fun of their spouse, and the spouse may be laughing with them in public, but when they go home, it's a big argument. Why would you tell them this? Why would you say this? You should have never said this is between me and you. There are women that even expose their husbands, maybe their sexual failures. Oh, he can't get it up. Oh, he doesn't da da da. He doesn't da da da. And they're telling this to their friends, telling this to their girlfriends, telling it to the pastor without that person's consent. Big mistakes. A woman may be going to a pastor for counsel and exposing all of her husband's weaknesses. Oh, you think he's spiritual? He's not even spiritual, pastor. This is why I like you, because I wish he was more like you. And that's how many infidelities happen. A woman is not getting what she wants from her husband. She's going to a pastor for counsel, and the pastor is seemingly giving her what she wishes her husband could give her. See, I wish my husband was more like you. You listen to me when I talk. He doesn't listen. He just da 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 da. And I wish he was more spiritual like you. See, you pray, you fast, da da da. And then it starts creating a soul tie between the two of them. Then they have an affair. And then the husband is da da da. And see, all of these issues, it all arises from lack of marital wisdom, not knowing these principles, not knowing that you don't expose your spouse's weaknesses before other people. And many principles like this, that principle alone would save all thousands of arguments, just to know you do not expose your spouse's weaknesses. You don't go to your mother-in-law and tell them how foolish your son is, you didn't raise him well, and you were always arguing about this. This is nonsense, this is foolishness, and this is immaturity. But if you don't know, you don't know. Just like when you're studying for a test, you're not going just to automatically know the answers. You have to study. You have to study marriage. Whatever you want to succeed in, you study. Successful business people study their business. Successful athletes study their sport. If you want to succeed in marriage, you study marriage. And what is the objective of studying marriage? To acquire marital wisdom, to know the principles that make marriage work.